Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to the fourth round of the 2016 Ride365.com Nationals, powered by Versus-PC.com. My name is Kellen Brauer here for Start Your Systems TV, and coming up in just a few moments, we'll have the 250 class action getting underway here at High Point, round 4, as I already mentioned. And this is the 1/3 mark through the season. After this round is done, we'll be a third of the way through the season. And we're going all 12 rounds non-stop after we were behind by a week, technically, the first 3 rounds, Hangtown, Glen Helen, and Thunder Valley. But after the off-week IRL, we are now back ahead of the real-life races. And so you'll see High Point, and then obviously the successive rounds before the real-life rounds every Thursday night right here, same time, same place, for the next 8 weeks. So I'm so glad that you guys could join us. And if you guys could give me a quick check in chat before we get things underway here tonight, that you can hear and see me, everything, that would be great. Just kind of swaying the camera left and right here, standing, or not really standing, more hovering, just above the turn 1 complex here, the long turn 1 sweeper that damn near goes 270 degrees into the second corner. Goes right around that big uphill triple in the middle of the circuit. So as long as you guys can hear and see me, we'll be bringing you all the funsies action from tonight, as long as we're going to get everybody in here. I don't know, I just got a message from Dennis Fjellberg saying server is full. I'm trying to look in chat and see if we've gotten anybody that had restarted recently. There's 35 people, but it looks like a bunch of other people have already connected. So, not too sure what the deal with that is. Awesome, thank you everybody. All like 10 of you guys. There's more like 6, 7 people there that said I'm all good in chat. Thank you guys for letting me know. And looks like we just got UID grab. That's me in warm-up mode. There's Michael Wheeler, the race host. And I forgot, I want to turn up the sound here just a smidgen. Alrighty, so the 250 consolation race should be coming up first. That will be the first on the agenda tonight, just to give you guys a little 411 on what to expect. Right now, on the hour, 6 o'clock. Man, Wheels is poignant. The UID grab for the 250 class has just occurred. That means that all the 250 riders needed to be in the server prior to that if they wanted to race tonight. They are then seeded into a 36 rider list, and of those 36 riders, the top qualifiers in ascending to descending order will make up that 36 list, and all the other runners that were beyond that go to the consolation race, where they will race 4 laps, and the top 4 transfer to the motos. And that is exactly what you guys are about to see here. And none other than, it looks like Jeremy Hinters is going to be in this race. We got about 10 guys on the line. Like I said, it's going to go 4 laps, so it's not going to be anything particularly overly exciting. But let's go racing. The first race of the day from High Point is underway as they streamline into turn number 1, and Trevor Doiron on the Skull Candy Yamaha is going to whip it around and take the whole shot. As I've already mentioned, top 4 go through out of this one, so these guys up at the front early on are in a good position already. So this is your first taste of what it will look like tonight on the main broadcast that you'll see coming up in just a bit here, 250 Moto 1, probably scheduled to kick off in about 10 minutes from this exact time. So if you're watching the playback on YouTube, you can go ahead and just skip forward to that if you want to skip all this consolation race fun. But looks like these guys are going at it as Doiron and Jonathan Hughes go fisticuffs on the uphill triple. Hunter Deischer is right there. Then David Wright runs in the 4th spot, so he's got the final transfer spot. He's under pressure from the 14 ride of Jeremy Hinters, who you will see bringing you the 450 class action later on tonight. That is set to kick off around 7:40 p.m. Pacific. That's 10:40 Eastern. And Hinters will have all the coverage for you there, and he might just well make it into the motos now, as he's going to get by. That was Deischer on the ground to move himself up to 4th. Josh Betts on the 341 squeaks through, and is that Matthias Janis? Yes, it is. And he's going to get out of shape and go down, unfortunate for Janis. As Hinters and Wright having a little feud right there. Up front, it is still Doiron, though. Looking clean, looking fresh. trying to take his Skull Candy Yamaha right into the motos out of this consolation race. Still got a lot of pressure from Jonathan Hughes behind, but he's making it work. These two pretty much streamlining their way out front away from everybody else in the field. So if they can keep up this pace, they'll surely get right into the motos, no problem. As Wright and Hinders are still duking it out behind them in the background there, going through the corners. This is the long turn one sweeper. And bring it down through the Ride365.com Hole Shot Award area. That's a good battle for the lead, and Hughes looks like he might be going for it here. He jumps the inside hay bale there as Doiron's making all kinds of mistakes around the outside. Hughes down the left side. Is he going to shut the door? He will. Nice move for the lead. Almost jumps off the track, but he's going to hang on to it. So the 334 out of Great Britain, Jonathan Hughes takes over the race lead from Doiron. And Hughes, big mistake on the downhill, slides out, and just like that, hands it back to Doiron. So these guys going back and forth out front. Again, it is not as important for them to make it into the motos as you may, it's not as important for them to win as it is for them to make it into the motos. So while the win will be nice, it only means 37th gate pick, which in all honesty doesn't mean a whole lot when you're way outside. And I actually heard a rumor, unconfirmed by myself, but Sonny Edmondson just dropped in here before the racing action and told me there are only 37 gates on this track, which would mean that after the 37th gate is picked, the next rider in line, which would be the 38th gate, gets shuffled to the 38th gate spot, which is put right behind the first gate. So gate one, far left side of the track. We'll probably see 3 riders behind the front row here tonight, as it looks like the RF crew may have missed out on the gates. We'll have to see if that's true or not, but I'll take Sonny Edmondson's word for it right now, as Doiron leads the way after lap 2. 2 laps of 4 in the books. Hughes still second, Wright still third, with Hinders still knocking on the back door, looking for a way through. This is a good battle for them. All right, making some mistakes. Hinders is kind of falling in line. Let's take a peek back. Here's Deischer in the 5 spot. He's a pretty good ways back. I think Hinders or Wright here could both maybe afford a fall-off crash and still get up ahead of Deischer, but it'd be very close. But Wright has had pressure from Hinders this whole first 2 laps. As Doiron is down, he was in the lead. He's off the right side of the track there. Not off the side of the track, but just out of the main line, and he is going to get going. Still in the top 4, but cannot afford another crash at this point, as Hunter Deischer is a-coming. So Deischer will look to close up on Doiron. Meanwhile, Hinders still looking at that lofty backside of David Wright, and Hinders is down. That will surely hand over the spot to Deischer, as Hinders, well, maybe not. He's just getting going. Here comes Deischer right behind him. So the battle for the last transfer spot is really on now. The 164 Deischer onto the back of the 14 machine of Hinders. Number 14 is Jeremy Hinders' career number. He earned that in 2013 when he finished 4th in the Pro National 250 class. And I want to say 5th in the 250 West region. Did a couple 450 races, earned himself a top 10 spot, picked 14 at the end of the season. Long since has lost that raw speed that Hinders did have, and Deischer's trying to take advantage of it as Hinders makes another mistake down the inside there. Meanwhile, William St. Laurent on the Mad Cape Suzuki is closing in on both of these guys, as Deischer now maybe looking for a way around. This is going to be the white flag lap this time by. So can Hinders hang on? Can Deischer get the spot? Or can St. Laurent steal it from both of them? We're going to find out here on this last lap. As it's still Hughes leading from Wright, Doiron, and then Hinders in that final transfer spot. This is the 250 consolation race from High Point. Watch out, Hunter Deischer is coming under attack from Laurent, who gets down the inside, shuts the door off, and the 724 machine makes the move. Will he hold on to it, though? Oh, nice. Thought he was going to lose it, but just so casually lofts him way to the outside, and this time he's definitely going to lose a spot. Does a little pirouette. Back to 6th for Laurent, St. Laurent. So Deischer, can he close down on Hinders? He might just be waiting for Hinders to make a mistake at this point, given the size of the gap now. It's out to about 3 seconds, I'd say. So he could try to get as close as he can and hope Hinders had a couple of cuts. For those of you new to sim, cuts is when JLV put in this system that determines when you miss a timing gate. There's roughly 52 timing gates around this track. When you miss one of those timing gates and you go very fast into the next one, it determines the makeup of the lost time, and that is how you earn a cut. As Doiron is down, the cuts are always added on at the end to your total race time, which then affects results, and we'll see a lot of that happening probably later on in the motos. Hinders a mistake, while up front, Jonathan Hughes wins the consolation race. David Wright gonna swing it home here in second. Hinders looking good in third, so it's Doiron or Deischer to the line. Deischer's pushing, had a rut, and he slides out. Doiron gets the spot just barely. Held on by the skin of his teeth. Deischer gonna miss out by 6.4 seconds, so he needs a big chunk of cuts to help him out in that department. St. Laurent, Jennings, two Mad Cape boys not going through into the motos as Jennings is having some lag issues. Tristan Runyons, a 522 machine on that 119 Designs Racing. My brain had an fart there for a second. Josh Betts has called it a night, as has Matthias Janis, Zach Lerma, myself in warm-up mode, not calling it a night just yet. We'll see how things go. So we'll go ahead and go back to our overhead shot, wait for cuts to come in. As of now, it was Hughes, Wright, Hinders, Doiron. All right, there you see cuts are in on the left side of your screen, and there's a little number with seconds listed right next to it. Hinders actually had 1.2 seconds of cuts, but did not lose a spot to Doiron. And it still is Hughes, Wright, Hinders, Doiron going through the motos. So if I'm correct, Wright, Hinders, and Doiron will start on the back row. Given gate picks, we'll see though how it works out. We should have an official moto listing right now in chat. There we go, 250 Motocross. Moto number 1 on the line. Sidehoff, your fastest qualifier over Dade, Honeywell, Kyle Robb, Craig Leak, all up in there in the mix. I believe Sidehoff is still your points leader after he won, or did he take the points lead back, I believe, after he won last weekend in Thunder Valley? Of course, Dade Honeywell did enter that race as the points leader after a dominating 1-1 performance at Glen Helen the week before that. But Sidehoff equally as dominant last week, going 1-1 at Thunder Valley. So we've had a lot of parity in this series so far, with Honeywell, Sidehoff exchanging blows, Kyle Robb making it in the mix here and there. He had a DNF at Glen Helen in one of the motos, so that's not going to help. All right, so here is the runners as they're coming to me on my screen for 250 Moto number 1 here at High Point. On the 489 machine, it is Trevor Doiron, 784 of Derek Thorpe, 52 of Connor Holiak, 219, Jordan Moxie, 229 of Kevin Frzaka, the 31 of Connor Linz, 163 of Josh Williams, 23 of Kyle Robb, 822 Jake Rose, 513 Fred Heather, as they are off and on their parade lap. So you can see the lap counter up at the top right of the screen. There's a white background behind it. means there's only one lap to go. It's their parade lap. We got Daniel Mills, Chase DeSalle, Dominic Saulnier, Jack Fowler, Dade Honeywell, Jared Seidhoff, Jonathan Hughes, Thomas Wilcox, Tyler Crane, Jeremy Hinters, David Wright, Tyler Lewis, Brock Pappy, Craig Leak, Hunter Deischer, Clement Lana, Zoe Cross, Joseph Nazarek, Dylan Copeland, Dominic Tiberino, Devin Ryan, Rush Chapman, Victor Nykott, Nick Uzik, Edward Mora, Zach Prokop, Chase Blakely, Dennis Fjellberg, Tanner Rogers, and Jeremy Cohenauer. That is all 40 of the runners that you will see here tonight in the 250 class from High Point. So we'll go ahead and follow these guys around a little bit as they're working on their parade lap. Kyle Robb leading them through, and Seidhoff on the 20 Motorsport Honda ride does have the points lead. Got that red backgrounds on his Motorsport Honda. Kyle Robb looking for his first moto victory of the year. So fast, so quick at that opening round at Hangtown even, but twice was kind of screwed out of an opportunity to win the race by lappers. So far this year we've had Connor Linz win a moto, Jared Seidhoff win 3 motos, and Dade Honeywell win 2 motos. And naturally, with 3 moto wins, Seidhoff is your points leader. So these guys are wrapping up their parade lap. There is Linz on the Versus PC 125, Derek Thorpe, Thomas Wilcox, a new team this week. I downloaded his stuff, but unfortunately I don't have it. Jake Rose, Jeremy Hinters, and we're set to go racing from High Point. So glad you guys could join us tonight. My name is Kellen Brauer here on Start Your Systems TV, about to bring you 30 minutes plus 2 laps of Moto number 1 from High Point in the 250 Pro class in MX Simulator 2016 Ride365.com Nationals, powered by Versus-PC.com. And trying to find someone more on the inside. Craig Leak on the 53, looking good there on the Verb Moto Suzuki. Let's drop that gate. It's time to go 250 racing from High Point. Oh, and Cohenauer on the 150 may have got pinched on the inside, but it's the 73 of Chapman who rips the whole shot and almost lost it going through turn 1, but Chapman takes the lead from Lewis. Lewis is going to cough it up to the 52 of Holiak, who is also racing a 125, so a good start for Holiak on the 125. He's trying to go down the inside of Chapman for the lead already. Chapman fighting back. They're going side by side. Chapman is on the ground. Holiak slides that 125 all the way down, and Tyler Lewis takes over the race lead. So Chapman maybe trying to be too aggressive to shut that door on Holiak, as Holiak had already made the pass, and it does not work in his favor as he goes down. So Lewis now leads from Holiak, Mills, Boxy, Mora. Then we see Tanner Rogers with Zach Prokop. Dade Honeywell, here's the first of your championship contenders up near the front. Tyler Crane on the 16, Craig Leak, Connor Linz, Devin Ryan just tipped over on the inside of the corner with his teammate Dylan Copeland going around the outside. There's Hinters on the 14, Chase Blakely, Thomas Wilcox, Kevin Verzakla, Clement Lana, Jack Fowler, Hunter Deischer. I'm looking for Seidhoff or perhaps Kyle Robb somewhere in this mess back here. There is the 20 of Seidhoff just passing his teammate. That was Pappy on the 26, and still no sign of Robb, who must be just absolutely buried. Here he is, Robb on the 23, way at the back right now. So he's got his work cut out, as does Seidhoff, who may only be about, well, he's about 10 positions ahead of him. But Holiak is going to lead the opening lap here at High Point, making that 125 look good. So we've lost Tyler Lewis, who was leading the race. Daniel Mills now sits second with Moxie in the number 3 spot. And we see Prokop, he's the top Motorsport Honda rider. And he's got Honeywell closing up on him already. So Honeywell with Craig Leak right there. Leak been on fire all week, had the fastest qualifying lap at one point, ended up 4th in qualifying. As we mentioned last week, he seems to be all kinds of fired up right now, does Craig Leak on that 53 Vert Moto Suzuki. Just recently found out that he's top 10 in Grand National Championship, so he's looking at getting a career number as Honeywell jumps to the outside and takes Prokop down. So both of these guys move up a spot. Leak looking at the back door of Honeywell. These two guys maybe the ones going at it for the win by the end of this thing. Holiak is looking strong, though, on that 125 up front. Let's listen to it. Oh yeah, Connor Holiak, 52. I happen to like that number quite a bit, and he's making it look really good on that 125 out front. Oh, Mills, he had a mistake there. He cased that double at the top of the hill, and he slides his way down to the ground. He might still get up in 5th here, and he's going to lose a spot to Creighton, so he's back to 6th. Was 2nd, back to 6th. That's what a good start will do to you, though, is that these little crashes right here at the beginning don't mean a ton if you get away early. Leak is still working on the back of Honeywell. They are both working their way up to the 219 of Moxie now. Honeywell with a very, very quick and smooth inside line there. So lap 3 of who knows how many, probably somewhere in the area of 16 to 17 laps if I could guess. From 250 Moto 1 at high point, and Honeywell is suddenly on the gas onto the back of Jordan Moxie, and we are going to go on board with the number 17 Prime Designs graphics machine as he goes to work. 56.6 last time by Honeywell. That was his fastest lap. Looks like it may have also set the fastest lap of the race. No, I apologize. Holiak had a 55.9 last time by. Reset fast lap. So we'll keep an eye on the live timing throughout the race as Honeywell gets by Moxie. He's up to the number 2 right now, and he is 6.3 seconds behind your race leader, Connor Holiak. So Honeywell, the man on the move early. Moxie slides back to 3rd, and now Leak is going to go after Moxie. Tells me Leak might not waste much time to get around Moxie. Moxie riding very well. Rider out of Great Britain. Oh, Leak almost over the bars on that triple. He's just stalking Moxie here, looking at his lines, trying to do something different, following in some places. Good battle between these two. This is for the 3rd position on track. Moxie looks to be a fair bit quicker in the braking bumps, but then Leak just powers out of the corner, gets good drive through the rut. They're both going to funnel into this outside line here, swing it up to the finish line. Honeywell, long gone already, nearly the entire straightaway after the finish line ahead of these guys. That just shows you how quick the pace is of Honeywell and probably of Leak. He's just kind of getting stuck behind Moxie here, who, to his credit, is riding great and doing a very good job of riding defensively, taking a lot of good inside lines. Leak not really able to do much about it right now. I'm going to flash back to this battle because it looks like a good one between the 31 and Lynn, swinging around the outside on that Suzuki, right behind Daniel Mills. Lynn's going to try an inside line here. Works out about even, though. This is a battle for 5th on track. Between the Tiger Designs machine of Daniel Mills, who just made a huge mistake. Lynn's cuts it down hard to the right side of the track. I haven't seen many people really take that line, but he made it work, and now he might pull alongside on the uphill triple. Mills is going to have the preferred inside line, but Lynn's around the outside might swing it down and try to make the pass. They both funnel to the inside. Now Lynn's surely will get the pass here, maybe not. Mills fighting back on the inside, thinks better of it. And Linz is going to take over the 5th position with a great move around the outside. He might give it back just as quickly as I say that, though. Mills down the inside on the former turning double. Now it's just a scrub jump, and Mills does take that spot back, so Linz made a mistake around the outside of that corner. These two are neck and neck. Really good battling between these two for the 5th position. Oh, Mills, another big mistake. Lynn's going to pull alongside again, going up the hill. Oh, and they almost touch. Mills, fortunately, does not go down. And already right onto the back of Lynn's, for that matter. Lynn's really not getting too far away in that scrum And he lost a lot of drive coming up the hill. Mills may have another line at it here. No, he thinks better. Tucks in behind and over the finish line, so Linz takes over the spot for now. Look up front, see that Moxie has lost a spot from Leak, so Leak got by and all that. And looks like Honeywell's sliced that gap down from 6.3 to 3.7 seconds. So he is catching your race leader, Connor Holiak, who still is doing a fantastic job. Vermoto Yamaha 125 two-stroke. So smooth, so fast. This man and a fellow two-stroke lover in chat right now talking to you guys under the Start Your Systems TV account. Nathan Zaworski are the only two riders from the United States to have raced the MX2 class at the Motocross Simulator of Nations and brought home the title for their country. Nathan Zaworski is the man I'm talking about. Did that in 2010. Holiak recently did it in 2014 when he was teamed up with Tyson Fresquez and I believe Jeremy Smith? No, Jesse Mullins, I apologize. That was the team. Mullins, Fresquez, Holiak was the team that went to Kegums in 2014 for the US of A and took home the trophy to go all the way back to 2010 for the last time the USA did that in MX Simulator, and Nathan Zaworski was a part of that team. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead closing up. And this battle is just getting started, methinks. I'm going to take a glimpse back. Leak, Moxie, Mills got away from Linz as they're locked in it. Look at here, Sidehoff with Fjellberg and Linz. And Crane off the back. Look at this four-rider train coming out of the long sweeper down the hill. Linz trying to get back by Fjellberg. They're going three wide up the hill. And Sidehoff might get them all. Fjellberg going to rip around the outside. Linz straight off the track. I'm not sure where he is. Let's see if he's back on the track behind these guys. Yes, he is. So he lost a spot to Tyler Crane in the process. But Fjellberg hangs on over Sidehoff. Battle probably not done, but I do not want to miss tabs on the battle out front if we see anything happening. Looks like it's settled down for a minute, so we'll keep tabs on this Sidehoff-Fjellberg battle going on. So Sidehoff now, after suffering a pretty abysmal start, has worked his way all the way up into the 7th position. And Alex Heckman in chat asking, what is Aluminum 2.0? Well, tonight on the pre-stream, just one of the perks that you can get if you actually show up and watch the pre-stream, we debuted this awesome new edit by a longtime MX Simulator video editor named Robros02, or Robin Rosenwinch, out of Norway. He's a really, really good editor. He's been around the game for years, and he put together Aluminum 2.0 featuring Byron Down, and we previewed, or not previewed, we actually premiered that video tonight on the live stream. Heard talking to Robin before this, it sounds like he'll have it up on his channel at some point, so youtube.com/Robros02. I don't normally promo people, so please don't ask for me to do it regularly, but Robin is a longtime friend, and he's the reason that I'm pretty much playing this game right now and talking to you guys anyways, so I think he deserved to have a video featured, and it was an epic edit regardless, so definitely check him out for all of your MX Simulator video needs. Oh, looks like Leak may have coughed up the 3rd spot back to Moxie. So he has to go back to work on that. Meanwhile, Holiak has Honeywell closing in. This battle is closer right now, though. Well, Leak trying down the inside. That line just leads right into the outside, and Leak is off into the hay bales off the left side of the track, and he's going to lose a big chunk of time. Fortunately, Daniel Mills is too far back. Thinking now I'm going to go ahead and stick on this battle with the leaders. Holiak, number 52, Vermoto Yamaha, leads the way from Honeywell. Number 17, Prime Designs Graphics Honda. We got Brock Pappy, that is, I think, on the 26 right behind them. And just when I thought Honeywell was actually closing in and getting close, he's lost some ground now on Holiak, who just disappeared out of the bottom of your screen. There are lappers everywhere already, lap 7, and Honeywell makes a mistake. He's going right off the track, and Pappy gets into it with a moto chasing rider. Couldn't quite see the number on that bike, but it's definitely a moto chasing Yamaha. So Holiak now getting away clean, as Leek is actually under a little bit of pressure here from Daniel Mills and Dennis Fjellberg, for that matter, for the number 4 spot. So just when we thought Leek might be a contender for the win in this moto, given the circumstances and the start that he had running with Honeywell early on and looking so fast this week, he's fading into the clutches of Mills here, who has the always fast and former 250 national champion out of Norway, Dennis Fjellberg, right on his tail. Fjellberg was your 2014 Race Factor Gaming 250 National Motocross Champion. That is why he earned the right to run that number 3, and he's always been super fast. Fjellberg also the 2013 MXSGP World Champion and a multi-time European Motocross Federation Champion. So he's no slouch, and he definitely is starting to close in on Devin Ryan here, the number 5 ride. Behind them, Sidehoff on the 20, still circulating behind them, then Linz on the 31, Wilcox, Copeland, and Lana going at it. Lana on the 40, trying to get to the inside. Copeland just trying to swing wide and hold the spot, but Lana's going to squeak through on his EMC Suzuki, take the spot. Devin Ryan stripped it all the way back here as Tyler Crane on the 125 goes by with Russ Chapman in tow. Ryan gets up in front of Tanner Rogers, who has Kyle Robb right on him. So Robb pretty much having the exact same race he had in Moto 1 at Glen Helen, where he started pretty much dead last year near the back. Worked his way up and started battling with the guys around 15th place, which is exactly where he is right now. 15th spot for Kyle Robb. Always fast, but unless he gets a start, it's tough to see Rob run up front, as Tanner Rogers just has a big off in the background. He's going to get passed by Thorpe, by Fowler. Fortunately, I don't think DeSalle is going to get there in time. Well, he may just... Yep, he actually will. And Nycott rounds out the top 20 right now. He has Edward Mora behind him. Chase Blakely and Tyler Lewis are way back here. There's just a glimpse of your top 20 real quick. We'll do a top 10 rundown in a minute. Holiak getting away from Honeywell. Meanwhile, the battle for third is lit, as Jordan Moxey has all kinds of pressure from the 53 of Craig Leak. And now Sidehoff finds himself in the 5 spots. So Sidehoff somehow got around Fjellberg and Daniel Mills. And Leak all over the back of Moxey. These guys have been going back and forth this whole moto so far. Really breakout ride for Moxey as Leak tries to jump to the inside. Nothing doing there. Let's see how this line works. Almost some contact between the two. So Leak gonna try some different lines again here. Goes outside and Moxey makes a mistake. Leak just rips by him around the outside. What a beautiful move by the 53 machine, Craig Leak, as he makes the pass into 3rd place. Honeywell still sits 2nd, so he's just kind of tracking Holiak out front. We're over halfway into this moto, 16 and a half, almost 17 minutes into this 30-minute plus 2-lap affair. Sidehoff with Fjellberg right on his back door. Fjellberg just slides out in the ruts though, so he's going to lose some time. While we're at it, and while Holiak still has a bit of a gap out front before this battle gets really real, let's go ahead and do our top 10 rundown, this time brought to you by Racetech Suspension. Racetech been on board with the Race Factor Gaming for a long time. Checkers448 is the marketing director at Racetech Suspension. Always does a great job building the tracks in this game. Did not build this week's track, but racetech.com, hit him up for your suspension and engine parts needs. Connor Holiak, 52, Verb Moto 125 at Yamaha, leads the way. He's been ripping this 125 since the get-go, and he still leads from Dade Honeywell, number 17, on the Prime Designs graphics machine. In third now, on the 53 Vermoto Suzuki, is Craig Leak with Jordan Moxey on the 219 Mad Cape. That should be a Suzuki underneath him. He's running a Yamaha dyno, though. He sits fourth. And back to your points leader, the number 20 Motorsport Honda, Jared Seidhoff. He sits in fifth with the Norwegian rider, Dennis Fjellberg, ART Reflex Designs. First real good ride out of an ART Reflex Designs rider we've seen this year. Lana is formerly of that team. He's on EMC now. But Fjellberg has had a really rough year, so good to see that team making strides, getting Fjellberg up near the front as he runs in sixth. Daniel Mills holds down the 7th spot for Tagger Designs, number 45, looking smooth as silk, always does, OGAF. Connor Linz running in 8th on the 125 as well. So 2 125s in the top 10 of a Pro 250 National and Race Factor Gaming competition. They said it couldn't be done. These guys are proving them wrong. Linz looking good for Versus PC. He is in 8th. Lana holds down the 9 spot right now. That is Zoe Cross on the 122 that just took somebody down. He is a lap down. Lana for EMC on the number 40, and Wilcox just got by. That was another lapper that was down. So Wilcox is the last of the runners inside of the top 10. Number 11 for the new team WLR this week. He's formerly of Yamalup Yamaha Star Racing, but he is now out, not on that team anymore, and he sent me the link to download his stuff. I did, but for some reason I have none of his stuff. That's awesome. Chapman running right behind him in 11th. That has been your top 10 rundown brought to you by Racetech. Meanwhile, battle up front is heating up again. Honeywell has closed the gap in to Holiak. Battle of the H riders out front, Honeywell and Holiak. So just when I start going on to this battle and actually seeing how it's going, it seems like Honeywell gets close, and then Holiak starts pulling it back away again. So I'm not sure. It's kind of a cat and mouse game going on between these two. Holiak definitely looks quicker in the first couple sections of the track, I would say. He's very smooth, very precise on that 125. Honeywell trying some different lines, but he's losing time. Maybe he's just going to close up at the back half of the track, maybe make his pass near the end. Very, very impressed with Holiak to hold on for this long. Like I said, Holiak is no slouch, former Motocross Simulator of Nations champion with the USA. But he's on a 125, and it's been a long while since Holiak has been really at the top of his game, I would say. He's still very, very good, obviously, running this moto up front for the entirety of the 20.5 minutes so far. I would have thought Honeywell, especially as fast as Honeywell has been all week, qualifying second, that he would just been able to catch him and run by him at this point, but no can do. Holiak looking strong as he's trying to get around a lapper. That's Deischer, and Holiak is down, so Honeywell goes to the top spot just like that. Deischer on the 164 puts Holiak on the ground. I don't think that was intentional on Deischer's part. Like he was just trying to stay off to the right side of the track, and Holiak kind of followed him over there, so Holiak now goes back to second. Fortunately for him, he has got a very comfortable gap over Craig Leak. Oh, Leak down. Looks like he was tripling into the chasm, and Moxie is going to try the same thing, but he's going to come up short and get by. And there is Fjellberg on the 3, also through, so somehow Seidhoff has gone backwards, and Fjellberg finds himself up to 4th, looking at a 3rd place finish. This will be the first points all season for Dennis Fjellberg. Hard to believe, seeing how he's actually finished 5 of the motos this year. But Fjellberg apparently looked really good in the MXS GP race that they held earlier this week on yesterday, actually Wednesday. Won both motos, if I'm not mistaken. Now he's up front here in RF, looking good again, bringing back the old Fjellberg ways, perhaps that old World Championship speed of his. And he has given Jordan Moxey everything he can handle right now for this 3rd spot. Once again, though, Moxie, he's riding a really good defensive race, holding on to the lines that are quick. defending the inside lines well. Fjellberg really can't do anything about him at the moment. Oh, Fjellberg, nice inside line, pulls alongside. Moxie trying to kip on the gas, hangs off to the left side of the track, and he's actually going to hold on to the spot. So Fjellberg's still unable to make the move just yet. Getting all whipped out on the triple. Got that whip cam right there, looking so nice. Quick flash up front. Honeywell and Holiak are closer, but still not a battle going on just yet. We're going to keep our eyes on this battle for third. 219 of Moxie and the 3 of Fjellberg, and I think that's the 20 of Seidhoff. Yes, it is. In fifth, right out the back of these guys. Fjellberg is just doing everything and anything he can to try to find a way by Moxie. He's going to pull alongside over the finish line jump here. Dualies. If I was a year before when I wasn't racing the 450 class later on tonight, I'd be taking shots right now. Oh, Moxie, huge mistake. He's down at the end of the long straightaway. That's Bradshaw Boulevard. So Fjellberg gets through, Seidhoff gets through. Did Leak get by? No, Moxie gets going ahead of Leak. So Leak all the way back to 6th. So Seidhoff has done a very good job of working his way forward. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, here we go. Kyle Robb has found his way inside of the top 10. I was just going to go back and see how he's doing. He had a bad start as well. Looks like he's up to the number 8 spot. Yes, he is. Kyle Robb in 8th. So Robb from way back, probably going to be your biggest mover in this race for sure. Was very deep in the 30s, I think, on the opening lap even. So to find himself up inside of the top 10 is a feat in itself. As Leak gets down the inside of Moxie and makes the move. And then triples up the hill. Wow, Leak going big time right now. Honeywell not really getting away from Holiak. 25 minutes in, 5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Holiak still keeping close. Meanwhile, this battle for third heating up once again as Seidhoff is to the back of Fjellberg. I wonder if perhaps there is some foul play involved there as Seidhoff was ahead of Fjellberg, then suddenly 10 seconds behind him. That usually tends to lead that one person crashed, that person being Seidhoff, and maybe Fjellberg helped him get there? So Seidhoff trying to fight back, goes to the inside, and they split a lapper. Now they're going to go side by side over the finish. More dualies as Seidhoff stays lower, and he's going to chop the line off, so he takes the spot away. Into third spot for Seidhoff on the 20. Fjellberg back to 4th. They've got a good gap over Leak, and they're way behind Holiak, so reason to believe that they may just stay in these positions from here on out. I don't think Fjellberg's done yet, though. Fjellberg known for turning up the intensity. Might be going after Seidhoff here for the spot. Whoa, Fjellberg, big swap. Save it. Wow, didn't fall off the bike. Almost 720'd his way out of that. And fortunately, he didn't fall off the bike, which probably would have left him behind Craig Leak. Oh, and then Seidhoff dumps it after the drop-off there, so the battle for third is on once again. As Fjellberg finds himself in front of Seidhoff with Leak now closing in from the 5 spot, and they've got a host of lappers in front of them, including Seidhoff's teammate Zach Prokop on the 136. As Fjellberg just trying to squeeze through, Prokop is trying to get out of the way, it looks like. Maybe not. No, Prokop doing his usual antics, just staying right in the way. Because why would you get out of the way if you're a lap down and you got the blue flag waving? There you go, Fjellberg. Put him on the ground. That's what you're supposed to do to bad lappers. So Seidhoff and Leak both get by Prokop. And Leak is really going after Seidhoff here for that number 4 spot. And I think him pushing Seidhoff is actually pushing them both back up to Fjellberg. So this is really a 3-rider battle for the 3 spot. And, oh, Seidhoff, big leap down the hill, side by side with Fjellberg going up the hill. And Fjellberg trying to block that inside line. And Leaker on the outside almost, does he? Oh, he did get put on the ground. Looks like he got into the back of Seidhoff's tire there. And Moxie's going to go through. And that's Hinder's a lap down. And that was David Wright also a lap down. So Leak over the line still in sixth, sorry. Didn't lose any spots other than Moxie. And Fjellberg went off the track at the bottom of the hill. So Seidhoff got into third. Wow, looks like Holiak may have had a big mistake. He's way behind Honeywell now. Still has a very good gap over Seidhoff. We are a minute and a half plus 2 laps away from the end of this thing, so I don't think Holiak's going any further back than where he is right now in second. Trying to squeak back here and look for a battle. Mills closing up on Leak, that is, yeah. Here's Chapman, so we've lost Rob. Rob back to 9th. It looks like he was 8th, back to 9th. And then Lana right behind him. Lynn's also in the mix as well. So this is a good little group of guys going on right here. I apologize for that very loud helicopter if you can hear a little bit of rumbling in my microphone. Oh, Moxie on the ground right before the triple. And Mills got by while Moxie was getting up again. So Leak and Mills both by Moxie in that little exchange. Leak looks like he's trying to get around the 150 of Kohenauer, who just kind of takes that right side rut, lets him go through. Good job by Kohenauer to not be right in the way of Leak there. So it's definitely settled down. Honeywell slides out in the lead, but still has a very good gap on Holiak. There's Seidhoff going the other way from Holiak. Then Fjellberg in 4th. Leak, Mills, Moxie, all coming down Bradshaw Boulevard amongst a heap of lappers. Chapman behind them, then Rob. So Rob versus Chapman might be the best battle inside of the top 10 until Rob dumps it. Maybe pushing a little too hard to get that last bits of points that he can. And Linz and Lana both get by. Meanwhile, these two are having an excellent battle themselves as Linz scrubs down the inside. Oh, I thought he got into the back of Lana, but somehow slides his bike out, hops the inside rut, and doesn't lose a single lick of time. That gap opened up a little bit again. Looks like Linz may have gone down. Rob back in front of him. So this is the best performance we've seen of Russ Chapman all year long. In fact, I think the only performance we've seen of Russ Chapman. He has been training at South of the Border, MX. Chapman, a pretty good super mini rider, IRL. And so he had potato internet, couldn't even make the motos pretty much because of it. He missed out on the consolation races a few weeks. Don't believe he raced last week at Thunder Valley. Now he says finally racing at home and running strong inside of the top 10. I guess it's not over for Holiak just yet. We're 31.5 minutes in. So it's 2 laps to go right now for your race leader Honeywell. Next time by will be white flag. I think one more crash from Holiak, he might be looking out here. As Seidhoff isn't terribly far behind. Seidhoff just chugging along here, looking at another podium finish. Seidhoff might be in for the long haul here. He's not a Supercross guy. We didn't see him much in Supercross this year. But it's looking really strong outdoors. As I said, there is Holiak. Pretty much 2 straightaways ahead of him. This straightaway and then the next is where we just saw Holiak coming down this hill. This is where we latched onto him. So maybe, I don't know, 10-second gap. 11.2 was the gap last time by. And like I said, it is white flag this time by as Honeywell clicks over the line, takes the white flag. But I don't think Holiak realizes that Seidhoff is closing and quickly. Little curious to know how far Honeywell is lapped up to. It looks like he just lapped Tyler Crane, who is in the 14th place position right now. So here's Honeywell just going over the Carmichael double, and Crane right behind him, 14th. He lapped up to 14th place in this moto. Oh, Moxie putting in Moto Chasing Rider on the deck. Fjellberg over the line. Here is Seidhoff. I think he's just going to run out of time trying to run down Holiak. He's running much faster lap times at the moment, is Seidhoff. In fact, last time by, Seidhoff ran a 52.9, which also, in fact, reset fast lap of the race at a 52.9. That is the new fast lap. 8.2 seconds was the gap to Holiak ahead of him, who last time by did a 155.9, so he gained 3 seconds. But I just don't think he has enough time. It's close. Oh, so close. But he may just fall short in this valiant effort to go after second place. Back up front though, Dade Honeywell worked his way from mediocre, mid-pack-ish start right up to the front early on, found his way to the lead, and Dade Honeywell is going to cruise to the Moto 1 win here at High Point in the 250 class. All that's left is to settle this battle for second, as Seidhoff is going to get so close, but he may just come up a tad short unless Holiak makes a mistake. So Holiak gonna have to get an engine rebuild after this motor for how hard he's pushed this 125. Can he bring home a 125 in second place in an RF Pro National? 30 minutes plus 2 laps at the front, and Seidhoff end over the bars in the background hard. So it is going to be Holiak on the 52 who comes home second. Great ride. Seidhoff third, might lose a spot to Fjellberg. Here we come to the line. Fjellberg's got all the momentum in the world around the outside. Seidhoff down the inside. Fjellberg rips it and gets third by 0.4. So that was a really costly mistake by Seidhoff. As long as Fjellberg does not have cuts, Seidhoff off the podium in Moto 1. Leak ends up inside of the top 5. A good ride for the 53 after some ups and downs in this moto. Moxie, breakthrough ride for the 219. Is going to end up 6th. As long as he stays on 2 wheels. Rob charges his little heart out. The whole moto comes from outside of the top 30 on lap 1 to finish 7th. Chapman still under pressure from Wilcox for 8th coming to the line. But Wilcox just went down, so Chapman's going to have it all to himself. In fact, Wilcox just lost a spot to Lynn, so Wilcox, that's going to be a costly fall. Lynn's 9th. Lana is going to beat Mills to the line, and Mills is going to get to the line ahead of Wilcox and DeSalle. They're all fighting the line. That's the 150 of Kohenauer lap down. Crane, Blakely, Mora, Williams, Thorpe, Ryan, Lewis was the top 20, and we'll wait and see if cuts are factored in just a moment. So after this moto wraps up, we should have anywhere between a 5 to 8 minute break. In chat, Wheels usually post 5-minute break. All right, here we go. Top 20 rundown: Lewis, Ryan, Thorpe, Williams, Mora, Blakely, Crane, DeSalle, Wilcox, Mills. Then top 10 was Lana, Linz, Chapman, Rob, Moxie, Leak, Fjellberg. Oh, I'm sorry, Fjellberg did lose that spot. Oh my gosh, Fjellberg had 8.3 seconds of cuts, so tisk, little Norwegian cheater over there. Ends up getting Seidhoff to the line, but loses it on cuts. So Seidhoff ends up third, then Holiak second, Honeywell with the win in Moto 1. and 250 Moto 2 in 5 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and take a break with them. Or Checkers is going to go ahead and talk you through the break, as I will be right back in just a moment. But Checkers joining us in chat. And
I don't know if that's a good idea because I got a new mic, so it probably needs adjusted. So you might just want to actually take a break.
Well, I mean, you sound good to me.
Alright, we'll see how it is on the stream, because it's probably a little louder than my old one, I would guess.
Give a check in chat to say, make sure that Checkers is all good.
Mic checkers. Mic checkers.
Mic Checkers. I like it.
And then I'm going to go put my kids to bed, actually.
Okay.
So I'm back for Moto 2, but I wanted to jump in and get my mic set up before the racing actually began.
No problem. Well, we'll make sure to get it all set up. People are
They
saying,
said a bit louder.
whoa, but good. It is a little bit louder.
Oh,
Whoa,
it is
checks.
a little bit louder.
So maybe I should turn you down maybe a smidge here?
It does sound good. Yeah, that's right. I finally got a new headset. I don't have a $10 mic anymore, and thanks to versus-pc.com, I have a microphone that's awesome.
So maybe turn you down to about there, maybe that.
Turn down for what?
All right, well, we'll get it sorted out if it's not perfect. I did turn you down a little bit so that you're not blazing loud, but you sound good, Checkers. Good to hear. We'll be back in just a second for 250 Moto 2 from High Point.
Sounds good. All right.
And we're back.
I am adjusting some settings real quick.
No problem. Should have 250 Moto 2 kicking off here in, I'd say, roughly 2 minutes. T-minus 2 minutes to gate drop for 250 Moto 2 from High Point.
Alright, we should be good now. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't staying on too much.
Right on, so Checkers got himself fixed. And he's going to be joining us here for Moto 2. So what's your take on this track so far this week, Checkers? I know you're kind of not super part of the building crew or anything, but have you got a chance to ride it or anything?
Well, I did leave a lot of feedback. I actually rode this track, other than the round I built, I rode this one more than the other rounds. Not any particular reason. I just was trying to provide good feedback, so I spent quite a bit of time on it. Or not quite a bit, but more than normal. I dig it for the most part. I'm not good enough to really go fast on it, but I can make laps around it consistently and smoothly. I found it fairly easy to learn.
Yeah.
Honestly. The bumps are pretty consistent because they're kind of sharp and jumpy, which not necessarily normally my style, but I definitely was able to dig the fact that I was able to learn where they are and kind of get around them pretty well.
Right.
Interesting to see a couple two-strokes in the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, Holiak ran up front, damn near that whole moto. He was leading for the first 21 odd minutes or so, and then Honeywell finally got to him and passed him. But yeah, the 125 two-strokes for that matter looked great out there. Very competitive against the 250Fs. So that's kind of interesting to see, I think.
Speaking of two-strokes, I forgot Nate wanted to come on down.
Well, come on down, Nate.
Whoops.
Buddy was moved to your channel.
There's our two-stroke warrior. I'm sure we'll see him on a two-stroke in a little bit in the Conti race for the 450 class coming up. Hi, Nate.
Talk power. There we go.
You're here. You're live on Start Your Systems TV. Brought to you by Start Your Systems TV on Twitch.
Self-sponsored.
Do you have any sponsors yet, Kellen, specifically for Start Your Systems?
You. Racetech.
Racetech sponsors Start Your Systems TV. I'm not sure what we do because you don't have a suspension or an engine to dial in here on your computer, but I guess we're here in spirit.
Did you sell your bike yet?
I haven't sold my bike yet, Nate.
Seb Galia, you're welcome. Thanks for the photos. I think I posted one last week too. The Insta Bangas. Oh crap, we're going racing. Moto number 2.
Line them up, boys. It's time for Moto 2 from High Point.
The intensity is about to rise. Hearts are racing. But so are the riders. Ha 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 ha.
Got him. All right, so that first moto we saw Chapman get the whole shot.
Hey, where'd that come from?
I want to say it's like gate 15 or so.
He's lined up between two 125s right now, so he actually has a really good shot at getting a good jump.
All right, and we are racing at High Point.
Hit the gate.
And it's another good start from Chapman. He's going to get it again.
He's got her. Edward Mora is right behind him in the 2 spot with Wilcox. And Tyler Lewis diving up the inside. That will be your top 4 coming up over the RC double.
Oh, Chaos is, that's Lewis getting down on the right side to try to take some hitters. And that's Devin Ryan stacked up there.
Chapman's down in the lead.
And Chapman down up front.
Edward Mora now takes over the lead. Thomas Wilcox going on an off-track excursion, laying on the other lane of the track, and I believe the guys are going to be coming around before he gets going. This could be bad. No, he is out of the way now.
So Mora leads his teammate, Craig Leak. Leak was 5th in Moto 1. We expected him to challenge for the Moto win after qualifying 4th this week, but was not the case in the first Moto. He's all over his teammate for the lead already, though.
I would say no one knows sim racing better than Devin Davison. Actually, during the first Moto, he called Craig Leak to get a Moto win before the end of the year. He has been riding really, really well this year.
Yes, he has. He's looked really well in qualifying, but looked even better, I think, in the races, even though he doesn't always qualify top 10, as Moxie is down in 3rd.
Tyler Crane taking over 3rd, and he's one of the 125 two-stroke warriors out here. Was just outside the top 10, somewhere in the top 15 that first Moto.
Man, Moxie went way backwards, and I'm seeing a lot of guys going by, including your Moto 1 winner, Dade Honeywell. Moxie gets him right back, but this is where these guys are, buried back here with Kyle Robb in the mix too.
Give a shout to the VPC factory racing rider Tanner Rogers, a DNF in Moto number 1, running in 4th right now early in Moto 2. With Daniel Mills scrubbing the crap out of the finish line jump, giving chase at the tail end of the top 5. And Top 1 is in the books here at High Point Moto number 2 of the 250 class, the Ride365.com Nationals.
Just scrolling through the field here as they go down Bradshaw Boulevard after the finish line, seeing where everybody is after the opening lap. Honeywell buried back here. After a solid first Moto, Dennis Fieldberg's running up in the 6th spot. He's had a pretty off season so far outdoors, but the former champion rocking that number 3 because of it. Is off to a better day here at High Point as he gets Holyak up the inside, making the move, threading the needle. And that was a rider down. Was that Mora? Mora has dropped to the 8th spot, but there is a Henner's down again, Chapman down again. I'm trying to find the other rider that went down on that jump, but I can't find him. Holyak fought back and got Fjellberg back, and now Fjellberg just got block passed by him. He's got to watch out for Seidhoff, who's down. That's your points leader. He was 3rd in Moto 1 after Fjellberg got cuts. Getting going, he lost about 7-8 spots there, I'd say at least.
Fjellberg probably wondering what is going on. He's usually one of the fast guys, and he's got passed by 125 of Connor Holyak.
They are all over the back of Devin Ryan, or excuse me, Daniel Mills and Tanner Rogers as Fjellberg gets to the inside of Holyak. Coming down the hill. Oh, he almost looped his Larry.
Holyak going to go for another block pass on Fjellberg. Fjellberg probably getting upset by now because he keeps making the move. He actually won the drag race there with the two-stroke and then got block pass right back in the corner.
Holyak means business here on this two-stroke. He's come to play and he's been ripping all day on it.
Fjellberg going to have a way better drive up this hill as well as a little bit more power. Well, probably a lot more power actually. Is he going to throw it back in there?
Over the finish line.
So Craig Leak out front. I told you Davis predicted he'd get a moto win. Is it going to happen sooner rather than later for Craig Leak?
He's got a host of fast riders to deal with behind him though. Tanner Rogers in tow with Daniel Mills. And then Holyak trying to get to the inside of Mills and shut the door for third, and he puts Mills on the ground. But in the third, Holyak goes. Fjellberg also squeezed by for the 4 spot. Mills still gets going in 5th, just ahead of Chapman.
Holyak being pretty aggressive.
That's for sure.
It's working out for him. I mean, he's working his way through the pack, but is it going to bite him is the question, especially considering he's blocked Fjellberg a few times and Dennis is tied to his rear end right now.
Yeah. Well, Holyak was second in that first moto. He may be smelling overall victory right now, seeing how far Honeywell is buried in the back and moving Sidehop out of the way. And others may just be a small price to pay for him to get that overall today.
Whether he gets first or last, I guarantee he's having a lot more fun than a lot of guys out there on the 125.
Oh, yeah.
He's mixing gas and hauling ass, ladies and gentlemen.
Already onto the back of Tanner Rogers. And this is for the 2 spot. You can see Leak disappearing off the triple in the distance.
Oh, Holyak almost
save.
down.
Bone Rear Central on the triple then just to get over it.
We've lost Dennis Fjellberg. He's fallen back to the 6th spot. Must have had a fall off. He's lost spots to Rush Chapman and Daniel Mills, now back up to the number 4 spot after going down with Holyak.
Looks like that's Mora right there behind them on the Vermoto Suzuki as they come slinging down the hill.
Sidehop up to the number 8 spot. Devin Ryan runs in 9th, and Victor Nycott right now rounding out your top 10 with Kyle Robb all over him. Robb not having a great day thus far at High Point. Did charge up inside the top 10 in Moto number 1, but spent a lot of the Moto outside of the top 10.
So that was an interesting scenario there where it looks like Chapman almost stopped in the middle rut and Fjellberg hit him and Fjellberg fell off the bike. Chapman just stopped and kept going and allowed Sidehop to get by them both. Good little train here as Sidehop is on the back of Mora, but Chapman's also giving him a show of the wheel here and there.
So Tanner Rogers has dropped to the 3 spot. Holyak has made his way around him and put some distance on Rogers. Not sure if it was because of a fall off or if he just passed him and left him.
Sidehop just made the move on Rogers. Still Leak up front though, trying to sprint away. Methinks Holyak has something to say about it though.
157 lap times for both of them, so lap time's not really telling us much thus far.
Looks like since last time by though, just kind of judging the gaps by my eyes, it's opened up just a little bit, Leak getting away from Holyak.
Daniel Mills, on the other hand, is closing in on Tanner Rogers for that final podium spot at the moment, with Sidehop pushing him from behind.
Sidehop not gone from Mora yet either, as Chapman also finds himself in the background of this battle.
Mills closing fast on Tanner Rogers.
Good 5-way train going up the hill and now over the finish line. Rogers, Mills, Sidehop, and then Mora with Chapman right behind him. Mills using the outside line at the bottom of the triple, gets the pass done on Rogers. And I will mention, checkers, you have just a slight echo going on.
Echo, echo.
Echo, echo. Can hear myself a bit there, guy.
I don't know if that's going to be better or not, but we'll try it.
All right. Rogers trying to fight back. Oh, he's into the back of Mills and down.
Ooh, Sidehoff almost got into him.
And Ryder's diving every which way. Rob not able to avoid Rogers on the ground, but he gets going. Meanwhile, there's Honeywell. Finally finds his way up into this mix.
I see it still echoing. I'll see if I can do something about that.
No problemo, guy.
Alright, we'll try that now.
Looking good to me. Well, maybe, well, that's me talking too, so. It's looking good to me! Yelling! No echo on my end, guy.
Yeah, it might be just after I talk though too, if it's the noise gate's not closing, but D-Mills is about to get passed by Sidehoff, and
Wow.
that's probably the important thing to talk about.
That is definitely the important thing to talk about, and Sidehoff made that look way too easy. I don't know if Mills had a mistake on the inside or not, but that outside line looks awesome as Sidehoff just ripped by. So now can he run down Holiak or Leak for that matter? Sidehoff also in the talks here for the overall. He's looking at a 3-3. Leak on 5-1 right now, but Holiak would have it on 2-2 scores. So really, Sidehoff and Holiak may be the two ones to decide this overall at the end of the day. Of course, can't rule out the fact that Honeywell is putting on a good charge so far. So he may yet get up and battle with these guys before the end of the moto. We're only 10 minutes in. Quick 10 minutes so far has gone by, but there's still 20 minutes plus 2 laps of this 250 Moto 2 action to go here from High Point. I think Leak is actually starting to pull away a little bit here from Holiak. Taking a look at the lap times last time by Leak at a 54.1. Got a second and a half almost on Holiak, who did a 55.4. That was actually Holiak's best lap of the race at a 55.4. Leak has done a 53.5 to his own right. And that looks to be also, no, actually the fastest lap of the race ran by Dane Honeywell on lap 4 at a 153.1. So Honeywell charging through the field, also ran the fastest lap of the race. But Leak is sprinting away at the front, looking smooth. Should we just call Devin Davis the Gypsy? If he can predict this one, calls Leak for a moto win at some point this season. During our first moto, which we just had less than, I don't know, 15 minutes ago. And now here is Leak running away at the front, getting away from Holiak lap after lap. Here's a battle for fourth. Fjellberg and Rob. Rob looking to get to the inside, into the tough blocks. So Fjellberg hangs on. 3 versus 23. Both champions in Race Factor Gaming competition. Kyle Robb, 2015 East 250 Supercross champion. Dennis Fjellberg, 2014 250 National champion. So these guys know how to win. They're running right at the sharp end of the field once again here at High Point. Oh, Fjellberg dumps it right off the edge of that rut there, and he's going to lose a spot to Rob, maybe more. There goes Chapman. Fjellberg just trying to get it straightened out, and there he goes, finally.
This Russia's first did he race all previously?
Who's that?
Rush?
Rush, we mentioned it earlier on in the broadcast tonight. He actually has been training at South of the Border MX, IRL, and had potato internet for the first 3 rounds.
Oh, that's right.
Missed it out of the consolation race at the first 2 rounds at least. I could not remember if he raced last week or not, but that's why finally racing at home is in his name, because he is home and he's got good
Didn't read
internet.
that. Gotcha.
Chapman sits in the 5 spot right now. It's like Holiak really chopped into Craig Leake's lead that last time by down to 4.3 seconds on the monitor.
About 4.5 seconds the last time.
Yeah, 59.8 for Leake, a 55.2 for Holiak. 55.2 was Holiak's best lap thus far. So he's running right about in that 55, 56 range every lap. Leake on outright speed, getting away from him, but may have had a big mistake that last lap that allowed him to close in a bit.
We're gonna be starting getting into lap race a little more heavily now.
Yeah, it looks like we already maybe hit up into the 30s, low 30s.
Yeah.
Just judging by the people I'm seeing scrolling across the top of your screen. Meanwhile, Connor Lynn's 33rd right now. That is not good for Lynn's. Got a couple runners out of the race. Only 38 riders started this race, so that means that 2 missed the call. Zach Prokop already out of this moto, as well as Clement Lana, Jonathan Hughes, Zoe Cross, David Wright. Connor Lynn's looks like he's out as well. Fred Heather also listed as out.
I even heard you mention earlier that there's not 40 gates on this track.
Yep, 37 gates. So that means that in the motos tonight, given that there are 40 riders on the gate, 3 people will have to start from the back row, gates 38 through 40, which are right behind gates 1 through 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say, honestly, that's really not too bad of a deal. I
Really?
mean, you're on the inside.
Exactly. I think that's actually a great deal. I wish that if I was gate pick 20, I could pick gate 38 and sit back there. That'd be nice.
Some of you newer members might not know this, but back in the day, you could pick gates other than what's on physically on the track. So you could pick a gate like 80, for example, be set way back. So you'll be put, so you can't do that anymore. I guess in a way that could give you an advantage, like it sort of does here, being on the back row.
It'd be kind of nice if it like mandated them out to be gate 50 or so that they're a little bit further down. Because it is really a big advantage, honestly, that we're short of gates on this track. If I can recall, last week Adam Holm made it into the 450 motos after Travis Hoffman took him out in the consolation race. Hoffman earned himself a nice 4-week ban for that one. But
Was
Holm,
the 41st man?
Holm, yeah, was the 41st man on the gate since he was given the rights to start the moto, and he started right behind gate 1, which unfortunately for him was the far left side of the gate at Thunder Valley, which meant he was all the way on the outside. So that was a situation where he was not fortunate to start on the back row for Holm. This week, it's a big advantage, in our opinion, that these guys were able to start on the far inside of the gate, just on the second row. So they just kind of follow those guys in, end up with a top 10 start realistically. They just kind of cruise in there.
That's all dependent on where the track creator begins to start gate script. I don't know if they in the future want to make it kind of a guideline as to do it so the 31st gate is on the outside versus the inside. That'd be up to the track creators.
It's really not a bad idea.
If you know any track creators, you should let them know.
Checkers chiming in with his track creations.
That's something I never thought of. It's not a normal situation to have that many riders with.
Well, back to the racing action, regardless of the gate situation. Craig Leak is still leading, Holiak second, Sidehoff third, Rob is fourth and closing on Sidehoff, so we'll keep an eye on that battle. Honeywell is up to fifth, and so he would split the 5-1-1-5 difference with Leak as we are standing, so they would tie on points. I still think Holiak's 2-2 wins the overall, but it's very close with Honeywell and Leak at the moment.
The gap is down to 2 seconds.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think that he's settling for second. I think he's gonna try to do a 1-1.
Gotta be
2
careful.
2-1.
A crash for Holiak here would mean that Sidehoff is right there.
That wasn't. Oh, Sidehoff is down now. We got a lapper tangling into him, and then another one once he was down.
Oh,
and
that's
now Kyle
Rob.
Rob's into him.
That was his teammate, that other lapper. That was Brock Pappy on the 26. So now Rob versus Sidehoff is really at the forefront. This is a battle for third. And Sidehoff down.
They're making out in the corner again.
Yeah.
Get a room, and here comes Honeywell now.
So might Honeywell sneak up here. He's looking to get the overall in the day. May be out of contention for a moto win at this point. We're almost 20 minutes in.
2-2. Honeywell. Last lap.
Honeywell ripping it onto the back of his teammate Kyle Robb. Prime Designs Graphics teammates. Sidehoff still third. Holiak and Leak. So we're 20 minutes right now into 250 Moto 2 at High Point. Chris, you want to give us a top 10 rundown? All right, I'll do it. This top 10 rundown brought to you by Meta, the presenting sponsor of the Tag Designs Amateur Nationals, presented by Meta. Read meta.com. Craig Leak, Verb Moto's own, looking for his first career 250 Moto victory on the 53 machine, is leading the way from Connor Holiak, his teammate, technically different machines, but they are both on the Verb Moto team. Number 52 sits in second, looking at an overall win perhaps today with 2-2 scores. Sidehoff, number 20, Motorsport Honda, he is in third, still the points leader, might leave as a points leader given the situation with Honeywell and Rob behind him. Rob launching the double in the background goes down, so that spot's going to be handed over to Dade Honeywell. So Honeywell on the 17 Prime Designs graphics machine, now up into fourth. Rob gets going in fifth, number 23, Prime Designs graphics. Russ Chapman sits in the sixth spot, finally racing at home. I believe he is on the Mainline Coffee Co. company. Coffee Company, not Coffee Co. company. Team. Number 73, Dennis Fjellberg, fresh out of Norway. ART Reflex Designs, another top 10 performance. Fjellberg looking awfully good here at High Point. Nycott has Tanner Rogers closing in on him. That is 8th place on the EMC, number 15. Rogers is in 9th. Tanner Rogers versus PC.com, number 80. And 10th is right behind him as well. Chase Sell, Mad Cape. That is your top 10 rundown, brought to you by Meta. Read meta.com.
I was saying Meta this whole time.
Meta. Oh, Rogers down, and DeSalle gets into him. That's Doiron tiptoeing his way by there. Fjellberg off the track for the finish, so Nycott's going to get him. So let's think about this. A 2-2, that's two 22-point finishes. That's 44 points. Holiak on 44 points. A 1-4 is a 25 plus an 18. That would put Mr. Dade Honeywell on 43. So Holiak still in position to win the overall on 2-2 here. As long
Partner
as
with the
I was gonna say, as long as Sidehawk keeps Honeywell behind him, I don't know if anything can stop Honeywell as hard as he's charged this moto. But go ahead, Nate.
I was gonna say, I wonder when the last time a 125 went overall was.
That is a very
Wasn't
good
me.
question.
I never.
I'm just
Last
trying
time
to
I
think of a time that the 125 even stood out at a round.
I don't know.
I feel like maybe in like 2013 or something. I want to say like Kyle Robb, Sidehoff, one of those guys showed up and raced a 125 and beat Jeremy Smith, but I could be wrong. I don't know. That's a very good question, Nate. It could theoretically be the first time in the modern era.
No, it didn't one win a main this year.
Well, one won a main this year, but in terms of overall nationals, I mean, when it was still just the 250 class before RF was around, 125s, that's the last time a 125 would have won an overall, right?
I can remember, really.
Did a 125 win an overall?
I don't think so. I mean, I know I was riding them back then, but I think my best finish then was maybe a third. I have to look back.
So could we be looking at history? The first time a 125 wins in a Race Factor Gaming Pro National. Obviously, we're still a little ways here from the finish, getting ahead of ourselves.
Well, Kurt League's down.
Oh, and League is down, like you said, so Holiak is going to go right to the lead. Did League just throw away his best opportunity to moto win ever? Oh, more problems.
Little lapper.
Now Holiak is really going to find himself in the catbird seat here for this overall with 2-1. Nothing beats a 2-1.
About 5.5 minutes plus 2 laps left.
So Holiak from Leak. Can Leak reel him back in? Those are teammates. Sidehoff just going to sit here lurking in
Leak's
third.
down again.
And Rob is by Honeywell up into fourth, so that's not going to do any good for Honeywell as Sidehoff gets caught up on Leak trying to get by him, and Leak's going to hold on to the spot because of it. Sidehoff going after Leak. That has given a huge lead to Holiak, who just crossed the line. On to lap 14 here, 25 minutes in to this 30-minute plus 2 laps second moto from High Point. Well, Leak looks a little flustered to me. I think that crash really, he was in a groove. That crash just kind of took him right out of that groove, and now Sidehoff all over the back door. That happens in sim though, these kind of grooves that you get in. You feel good, you're feeling comfortable, you're riding the track well.
User joined your channel.
You're leading the race, you're up front. Then one crash, it can all go away just like that. Your mentality changes, you're suddenly in kind of conservative mode, trying to get back up front, maybe even freaking out a little bit, trying to catch the leader. So instead of just kind of cruising, knowing you're in the lead, no pressure, everything changes. This game, honestly, a lot of mental strength goes into it. I know that sounds kind of lame, it's a video game, but you know, not much physical strength because you're just using your hands really. But your mind is working overtime, trying to get everything right, trying to remember every button to push and Leak.
Big rushes out once more. And in a way, it's similar to I know Steve Mathis says all these riders are mental cases. And he's kind of right. I mean, this kind of correlates to it. If you have confidence, you feel like you can beat anyone. If you have one bad race after that, you feel like you can't do anything.
Yep. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right on that one.
Stream still up?
My end stream is still good. Everybody, somebody said we're back. So for those of you in chat, please just let everyone know to refresh if they're having issues. We may have dropped frames a little bit. I just noticed we got some frame drops. That happens cordially throughout the stream. I mean, we've been streaming for almost an hour and a half straight. So it says we've had 3,000 frame drops, which happens.
He's not working for me. He's loading.
Interesting. So
just works fine though on the archive.
What's that?
It should work fine on the archive.
It should, yeah. If it doesn't, I mean, I have it recording at all times, so it's simultaneously recording. We just have a backup file at all times, so we can just keep doing what we're doing. And unfortunately, I'm not really sure how to fix the stream. if you guys are having issues, because on my end, I'm all good. I'm still running at the same upload speed. We did drop frames, but haven't dropped frames in a little bit. His leak is down again. So Holiak looking to win this thing. Yeah, here comes Rob. Wow.
Oh, did he just bounce off a lap?
That was Dylan Copeland on the 92. And Leak is down again. It is just all coming apart for Craig Leak here. Could have had his first career moto win, but now he's back to 4th. And just made another big mistake. Got to watch out for Honeywell closing in. Creeping up on the 30-minute mark here. Looking at where Holiak is, he's crossing the line right now. So actually, this will be 3 laps to go because he will not get back to the line in less than 1 minute. So 3 to go. Holiak out front, looking to go 2-1 on a 125. So what are the odds, Nate, that he's on a RM 125? Is he?
Oh, he is. I don't have his skin. I can see it. Let's just look at the attack. No other 125 revs that high.
Well, I don't have the tack on my screen, but I appreciate the
knowledge. I'm sorry. I can go by sound too.
Definitely riding that thing in tip-top form. And Seidhoff, this may not be over yet. Seidhoff was closing on Holiak really hard at the end of the first moto, if you remember back, as there's Hinders getting out of the way.
It was about just under 3 seconds faster last lap.
That's the exact same situation we saw in the first moto. Seidhoff ripping 3 seconds a lap apart away from Holiak at the front, with Holiak running second. You can hear Holiak just at the back of our screen right now going by. So Seidhoff really not too far behind.
Seems working again for me.
Jared Seidhoff just strong-armed a lapper out of the way. If that was me, my front end would have been on the other side of the planet, but he just pushes him nicely out of the way. Doesn't affect him at all.
Lands in the squiggly rut. Is A-okay.
So can Holiak hold on this time by? It'll be 2 to go from High Point. And it should be noted that this would also change the overall. Seidhoff is looking at a 3-2 as we run. If he passes Holiak, a 3-1 beats a 2-2. As 2-2 is only 44 points, 3-1 is 45 points. So regardless of the tiebreaker being the better second moto anyway, that doesn't matter, because on outright points, Seidhoff would get it. So if Seidhoff can win this moto, he'll be your overall victor. That's 3 out of 4 victories for Seidhoff if he can win this. Winner at Hangtown, dominated at Thunder Valley. A little bit of an off week at Glen Helen. Lost the points lead to Honeywell in the process. But man, Seidhoff has come to play for these outdoors. So Holiak clinching the sphincter at this time. Rob up to 3rd, Honeywell is 4th, so Leak looking at 2 5th place finishes after he could have easily won this moto, but fell apart in the latter stages of this race. Chapman, Fjellberg, Mora, Rogers, DeSalle looks to be the top 10 right now, with Mills, Nycott, Ryan, Blakely, Crane, Hinders is in the points, so good for Hinders. Cohenauer, Wilcox, Jake Rose. Looks like Dylan Copeland might be the last of the runners inside of the top 20. We'll go back up front though and just keep an eye on this battle for the overall white flag next time by, as Holiak leaps down to the chasm. Why don't we just go ahead and go on board with Seidhoff? 3 seconds is the gap. That might be even closer as we cross the line next time by. I'll keep you guys updated on the time splits as well.
Much easier at this point to be in Seidhoff's spot versus Holiak's.
Yeah, I think so too, because you're faster than him. You know what lines he's taking. White flag is in the air as Holiak crosses the line. A 53-1, Seidhoff's best lap of the race. It is the exact same scenario as Moto 1, but this time it's for the win of the race. and the overall victory on the day. Can Seidhoff do it? Holiak last time by at a 55.9 to 53.1 for Seidhoff, so Seidhoff does the exact same thing again. They'll be on top of each other going across the line. This is going to be oh so close.
You happen to remember the finish of the 450 class? It was at 2012?
2012, yeah, Jones, Tyson, and a few others coming to the line. 4-rider battle, I think, even, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say Shipley was in there. Maybe Crane. They all came to the line, and Jones came out with the win, coming from third to win the moto in the last corner. This is similar to that, with these guys closing up right at the finish line. Can Seidhoff do it? This is going to be for the overall. It's either Holiak or Seidhoff at High Point. Oh man, Seidhoff pushing so hard.
1.7.
It's close, but it perhaps may not be close enough.
Plus, there's also cuts. I don't know.
Yeah.
Any of these guys have had off track excursions.
Here we go. Up the hill one last time. Holiak versus Seidhoff. Into the final corner. Holiak a mistake. And it's going to be Connor Holiak as he wins Moto 2 and he wins the overall at High Point. Seidhoff just came within 0.7 at the end. Ran his fastest lap of the race, as did Holiak on that last lap. But Seidhoff, I think, did one up on that and set a new fastest time of the race. No, actually, that was Honeywell that had the fastest time of the race at a 52.2. So Seidhoff was really ripping there in the end. We'll see if cuts play a factor. Rob is actually just going to beat Honeywell to the line, maybe. Oh, Rob is going to give Honeywell the spot, it looks like. So Honeywell gets third, which means that he
Let's get specified, Greg.
would finish second overall on a tie with, well, he's third overall now, 1-3 third overall, 2-1 for Holiak. No, sorry, I'm doing this all backwards. Honeywell's second overall on a 1-3. A 2-1 for Holiak gets him the overall, and Seidhoff should be third on a 3-2. If it changes, though, and Holiak does lose the race on cuts, Seidhoff would be the overall victor in a tie with Honeywell based on the tiebreaker that Seidhoff had the better second moto finish. That's just how close it is in Race Factor Gaming competition, folks.
We got a battle for the top 10 between Nycott and Cell. The Cell might just get it.
Yep, DeSalle going to get to the line for 9th.
Oh,
Nycott 10th.
crashes off the face.
Mills and Mora coming to the line for 11th. Mora's going to try to sneak to the inside, make a mistake, and save it somehow. So it's Mills, Mora, then Devin Ryan looking at 13th here. T. Crane, always strong on the 125 and 14th, and this might show us cuts. No, 15th, still waiting on Blakely.
How many rage quits? How many white dots?
All right, Blakely, a couple mistakes, and to the line, cuts are in, and no cuts for Holiak or for Seidhoff. So Holiak, with a 2-1 finish on a 125, is your overall victor at High Point today in the 250 class. What a job, son. 1-3 for
Pretty
Honeywell,
pumped on that.
gets second, and a 3-2 for Seidhoff takes home third. Not many days you can get a 3-2 and end up third, but this is just one of those days.
Buddy joined your channel.
All right, so Jeremy
Hello,
Hitters
hello.
joining us in chat
Yes.
after a solid 18th place finish in that moto.
I don't want to talk about it.
We're going to throw it over to Hitters
Yes.
now. He's going to take over for the 450 stream, so we'll catch you guys in just a minute. Don't touch that dial.
You got beat by 125 in there.